Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 11th, 2018. Today we're going to recap yesterday's FIFA World Cup game between France and Belgium. And then I'm going to pick today's FIFA game between Croatia and England. The winner moves on to take on France in the FIFA World Cup final, who are 1-0 winners over Belgium, courtesy of a goal by Samuel Umtiti in the 51st minute to give France a 1-0 lead as they hold on and advance to the finals, which will take place on July 15th. That is Sunday, as Belgium will play in the third place game against the loser of Croatia-England on Saturday, July 14th. Croatia-England, 2 o'clock on Fox. The pick here to advance to play France will be England. I just think that they are the better team here. And although I think Croatia has a chance, I just like England here to play France. A France-England final would be so fun. And it would be so entertaining as well. Now I'm going to get into baseball, all the results from yesterday. It was all night games yesterday. The Orioles defeated the Yankees 6-5 as they improved to 26-66. The Yankees dropped to 59-31. Zach Britton improves to 1-0. Dellin Betances drops to 1-3. Bottom of the fourth, 2-run double. Joey Rickard, 2-0 O's. Top of the fifth, home run. Greg Bird gives the Yankees a 3-2 lead. That was a 3-run shot. Bottom of the fifth, Manny Machado answers back with a home run of his own, ties it up at 3 apiece. Top of the seventh, sacrifice fly, Greg Bird, 4-3 Yanks. RBI single, Neil Walker, 5-3 Yanks. Bottom of the seventh, 2-run home run, Manny Machado with second of the game, ties up at 5 apiece. Bottom of the ninth, the walk-off single by Jonathan Scope, which should have been an E3 on Greg Bird, gave the Orioles a 6-5 win. Andrew Kashner pitched very well up until the very end. 6 in the third innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.56 ERA. He tends to do well against the Yankees. Masahiro Tanaka in his first start back off the disabled list. 4 in the third inning, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.68 ERA. The Nationals defeated the Pirates 5-1 as they improved to 46-45. Pittsburgh drops to 42-49. Jeremy Hellickson improves to 3-1. Joe Musgrove drops to 3-4. Top of the fifth, 2-run home run, Anthony Rendon, 2-0 Nats. Top of the sixth, bases loaded walk, Mark Reynolds, 3-0 Nats. RBI single, Adam Eaton, 4-0 Nats. Bases loaded walk, Juan Soto, 5-0 Nats. Bottom of the seventh, RBI ground out, Max Moroff made it a 5-1 game. Nats hang on the win. Jeremy Hellickson pitched pretty well. 5 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.47 ERA. Joe Musgrove, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 9 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.77 ERA. The Red Sox defeat the Rangers 8-4 as they improve to 64-29. Texas drops to 40-53. Matt Barnes improves to 3-2. Yovani Gallardo drops to 3-1. Top of the second, home run, Rougned Odor, 1-0 Rangers. Bottom of the third, RBI double, Jackie Bradley Jr. ties it up at 1 apiece. RBI double, Andrew Benintendi gives the Red Sox a 2-1 lead. RBI single, Mitch Moreland, 3-1 Red Sox. 2-run triple, Xander Bogaerts, 5-1 Red Sox. Top of the fourth, RBI groundout, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 5-2. Bottom of the fifth, sacrifice fly, Mitch Moreland, 6-2 Sox. Top of the sixth, RBI double, Joey Gallo that drove in 2 to make it a 6-4 game. Bottom of the sixth, RBI double, Jackie Bradley Jr., 7-4 Sox. Bottom of the seventh, RBI double, Andrew Benintendi, 8-4 Sox was your final. Hector Velasquez in a spot start, 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.77 ERA. The Red Sox bullpen did a pretty solid job to hold down the Rangers after that. Yovani Gallardo, his worst start of the year, 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 6.75 ERA. The Reds defeated the Indians 7-4 as they improved to 41-51. Cleveland dropped to 49-41. Kyle Crockett improves to 1-0. Cody Allen drops to 2-4. Raciel Iglesias gets his 19th save of the season. Bottom of the first, home run Francisco Lindor, 1-0 Indians. Home run Jose Ramirez, 2-0 Indians. Bottom of the second, Roberto Perez safe on the error by Eugenio Suarez as Jason Kipnis scores, 3-0 Indians. Bottom of the second as well, RBI groundout Francisco Lindor, 4-0 Indians. Top of the ninth, here come the Reds. RBI single, Jose Peraza gets the Reds on the board, 4-1 game. 2-run double, Adam Duvall, 4-3 game. 3-run double, Joey Votto, 6-4 Reds. RBI single, Eugenio Suarez, 7-4 Reds. That's your final. That was the worst loss of the year for Cleveland. 4-0 lead. You got to hold on to beat the inferior team. They failed to do so. Sal Romano actually pitched okay. 7 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, leaves the game with a 5.28 ERA. Trevor Bauer was awesome. 8 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 4 walks, 12 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.3 ERA. The Phillies defeated the Mets 7-3 as they improved to 51-39. They're now in first place in the NL East. The Mets dropped to 36-53. Aniel De Los Santos improves to 1-0. Drew Gagnon drops to 0-1. Both guys had their big leagues debuts yesterday. Top of the second, 3-run home run, Maikel Franco, 3-0 Phillies. Top of the third, 2-run single, Nick Williams, 5-0 Phillies. Bottom of the third, sacrifice fly, Drew Gagnon, 5-1 game. Top of the fifth, home run, Odubel Herrera, 6-1 Phils. Top of the sixth, RBI single, Maikel Franco, 7-1 Phils. Bottom of the seventh, RBI triple, Ahmed Rosario, 7-2 game. RBI groundout, Michael Conforto, 7-3 game. That was your final. Aniel De Los Santos, 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.26 ERA. Drew Gagnon, 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with an ugly 11.57 ERA. The Brewers defeated the Marlins 8-4 as they improved to 55-37. Miami drops to 38-56. Julius Chacin improves to 8-3. Pablo Lopez drops to 1-1. Corbin Burns gets his first big league save. Top of the first, fielder's choice, Travis Shaw, 1-0 Brewers. Bottom of the first, RBI single, Garrett Cooper ties it up at 1 apiece. RBI single, JT Riddle, 2-1 Marlins. Top of the second, RBI single, Christian Yelich that drove in 2. 3-2 Brewers. 2-run single, Tyler Saladino, 5-2 Brewers. Bottom of the second, sacrifice fly, Derek Dietrich, 5-3 game. Bottom of the fourth, RBI groundout, Brian Anderson made it a 5-4 game. Top of the eighth, home run, Travis Shaw, 6-4 Brewers. Top of the ninth, 2-run double, Christian Yelich, 8-4 Brewers is your final. Julius Chacin, 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.78 ERA. Pablo Lopez, 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 6.35 ERA. The Rays defeated the Tigers 5-2 as they improved to 47-44. Detroit drops to 40-54. Jose Alvarado improves to 1-3. Matt Boyd drops to 4-8. Sergio Romo gets his 10th save of the year. Bottom of the third, RBI single, Willie Adames, 1-0 Rays. RBI single, Kevin Kiermaier, 2-0 Rays. 3-run home run, Wilson Ramos, 5-0 Rays. Top of the ninth, RBI double, Nicholas Castellanos gets the Tigers on the board, makes it a 5-1 game. RBI single, Nico Goodrum, 5-2 game. Rays hang on the win. Ryan Stanek was the opener, 2 innings, a hit, no earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, leaves the game 1.99 ERA. The bullpen held its own the rest of the way. Matthew Boyd, 6 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, and 8 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.76 ERA. The Blue Jays defeated the Braves 6-2 as they improved to 42-48. Atlanta drops to 50-40. Marcus Stroman improves to 2-6. AJ Minter drops to 3-2. Top of the third, home run Justin Spoke, 1-0 Blue Jays. Bottom of the sixth, RBI single Kurt Suzuki ties up at 1 apiece. Top of the eighth, RBI single Russell Martin, 2-1 Jays. RBI single Kevin Pillar, 3-1 Jays. 2-run double Edlemis Diaz, 5-1 Jays. Ground rule double, Devin Travis, 6-1 Jays. Bottom of the 8th, RBI ground out, Kurt Suzuki. Made it a 6-2 game. Marcus Stroman, 7 innings, 6 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.9 ERA. Julio Teheran, 6 2/3 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.26 ERA. The Cardinals defeated the White Sox 14-2 as they improved to 47-43. The White Sox dropped to 30-61. Miles Mikolas improves to 10-3. Dylan Covey drops to 3-5. Top of the third, RBI single, Jose Martinez, 1-0 Cards. RBI single, Marcell Ozuna, 2-0 Cards. Bottom of the third, 2-run single, Charlie Tilson ties it up at 2 apiece. Top of the fourth, fielder's choice, Yaro Munoz, 3-2 Cards. Sacrifice fly, Yadier Molina, 4-2 Cards. That was the top of the fifth. Top of the sixth, pass ball by Omar Narvaez allows Yaro Munoz to score, 5-2 Cards. Wild pitch by Hector Rondon allows Colton Wong to score, 6-2 Cards. Bases loaded walk, Judd Jerko, 7-2 Cards. Grand slam, Dexter Fowler, boy did he need that, 11-2 Cards. Top of the 8th, 2-run home run, Colton Wong, 13-2 Cards. Top of the 9th, RBI double, Jose Martinez, 14-2 Cards is the final. Miles Mikolas pitched well, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.65 ERA, showing that he deserved that all-star reserve nod, or the pitcher nod, I should say. Dylan Covey, 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.69 ERA. The Royals defeated the Twins 9-4 as they improved to 26-65. Minnesota drops to 40-49. Brian Flynn improves to 1-1. Aaron Slegger drops to 1-1. Top of the first, RBI single, Salvador Perez, 1-0 Royals. Bottom of the first, home run, Brian Dozier ties it up at 1 apiece. Top of the second, 3-run home run, Raul Mondesi, 4-1 Royals. RBI single, Rosell Herrera, 5-1 Royals. Bottom of the third, RBI single, Eduardo Escobar made it a 5-2 game. Top of the sixth, RBI single, Raul Mondesi, 6-2 Royals. Top of the ninth, RBI triple, Hunter Dozier, 7-2 Royals. 2-run home run, Alex Gordon, 9-2 Royals. Bottom of the ninth, RBI triple, Max Kepler, 9-3 game. RBI single, Robbie Grossman made it a 9-4 game. Ian Kennedy, 3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.13 ERA. Aaron Slegers, an inning and a third, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.68 ERA. The Astros defeated the Athletics 6-5 in 11 innings as they improved to 62-32. Oakland drops to 51-41. Colin McHugh improves to 5-0. Blake Trinan drops to 5-2. Bottom of the first, home run, Alex Bregman, 1-0 Astros. Bottom of the second, RBI single, George Springer, 2-0 Astros. Bottom of the fourth, RBI single, George Springer, 3-0 Astros. Bottom of the seventh, home run, Alex Bregman, his second of the game, 4-0 Astros. Top of the ninth, here come the A's. RBI single, Chris Davis, 4-1 game. RBI single, Matt Olson, 4-2 game. 2-run double, Marcus Semien, 4-4. Top of the 11th, home run, Stephen Piscotty, 5-4 A's. Here comes the wild ending. Bottom of the 11th, fielder's choice, Tony Kemp. Josh Reddick scores, 5-5. Then the walk-off error, Alex Bregman was safe on the throwing error by Jonathan Lucroy. Bregman hits a slow dribbler. Lucroy throws it. The first baseman, Matt Olson, over his head. Bregman safe at first. Kyle Tucker scores. The Astros win 6-5. Justin Verlander, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.05 ERA. Sean Manaea, 4 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.44 ERA. The Diamondbacks defeated the Rockies 5-3 as they improved to 51-41. Colorado drops to 46 and 45. Randall Delgado improves to 2-0. Jake McGee drops to 1-3. Brad Boxberger gets his 22nd save of the year. Top of the first, home run Nick Ahmed, 1-0 Diamondbacks. Bottom of the third, RBI double. Charlie Blackmon ties up at 1 apiece. Bottom of the fifth, Ian Desmond safe on the error by Paul Goldschmidt allows a run to score. 2-1 Rockies. Top of the seventh, 3-run home run David Peralta, 4-2 Diamondbacks. Home run AJ Pollock, 5-2 Diamondbacks. Bottom of the seventh, home run Nolan Arenado, 5-3 was your final. Patrick Corbin, 4 in the third innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, leaves to give the 3.09 ERA. Tyler Anderson, 6 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts, leaves to give him the 3.76 ERA. The Cubs defeated the Giants 2-0 as they improved to 52 and 37. San Francisco drops to 48 and 46. Jose Quintana improves to 8 and 6. Derek Holland drops to 5 and 8. Steve Chiswick gets his third save of the year. Top of the seventh, wild pitch by Sam Dyson allows Addison Russell to score as Russell went from second to third, and Russell scores on the error after the wild pitch by Nick Hundley. 1-0 Cubs. RBI double Victor Carantini. 2-0 Cubs was your final. Jose Quintana pitched well. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.96 ERA. Derek Holland, 6 and a third innings, 5 hits, an earned run, no walks, 8 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.17 ERA. The Angels defeated the Mariners 9-3 as they improved to 47 and 45. Seattle drops to 57 and 35. Noe Ramirez improves to 4 and 3. Mike Leake drops to 8 and 6. Top of the first, 3-run home run Mitch Haniger, 3-0 Mariners. Bottom of the first, RBI single Justin Upton made it a 3-1 game. Bottom of the second, RBI Grundle Cole Calhoun made it a 3-2 game. Infield single and Drelton Simmons, the run scores 3-3. Bottom of the fourth, RBI double and Drelton Simmons, 4-3 Angels. 2-run home run Albert Pujols, 6-3 Angels. RBI single Ian Kinsler, 7-3 Angels. Bottom of the fifth, home run Cole Calhoun, 8-3 Angels. Bottom of the eighth, RBI single Shohei Ohtani, 9-3 Angels. That's your final. Garrett Richard was pulled after 2 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, and walk and a strikeout, leaves the game with a 3.66 ERA. Wonder if he was injured or something. Mike Leake, 4 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout, leaves the game with a 4.36 ERA. The Padres defeated the Dodgers 4-1 as they improved to 40 and 54. The Dodgers dropped to 49 and 42. Eric Lauer improves to 5 and 5. Rich Hill drops to 2 and 4. Bottom of the fifth, 3-run home run Austin Hedges, 3-0 Padres. Home run Will Myers, 4-0 Padres. Top of the ninth, home run Max Muncy, 4-1 game. Padres hang on. Eric Lauer, 8 2/3 innings, 4 hits, an earned run. He gave up that home run to Max Muncy, then he was pulled. 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.4 ERA. Kirby Yates then came on to get the save. Rich Hill, 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.64 ERA. Today's games, at 12 o'clock, you have the Tigers and the Rays. Jordan Zimmerman against Hunter Wood, who is today's opener. 12:30, Nationals Pirates, Gio Gonzalez and Trevor Williams. 1 o'clock, Royals Twins, Birch Smith against Lance Lynn. 3:45, Cubs Giants, Mike Montgomery and Johnny Cueto. 7 o'clock, Rangers Red Sox on ESPN, Bartolo Colon against Chris Sale. This is a mismatch. The Red Sox are going to win this game and win their 8th straight and pull off the sweep of the Texas Rangers to keep their American League East lead at least 3.5. Yankees Orioles, Sonny Gray against Dylan Bundy. Reds Indians, Tyler Mahle and Carlos Carrasco. Phillies Mets, Vince Velasquez and Jacob deGrom. Brewers Marlins, Freddie Peralta and Dan Straley. 7:30, Blue Jays Braves, Sam Gaviglio against Mike Falta Units. 8 o'clock, Cardinals White Sox, Luke Weaver and Carlos Rodon. Athletics Astros, Chris Bassett and Lance McCullers Jr. 8:40, Diamondbacks Rockies, Shelby Miller and Herman Marquez. 10 o'clock, Mariners Angels, Marco Gonzalez against Jaime Barria, and Dodgers Pirates, Kenta Maeda against Joey Lucchesi. Now I'm going to go over the Summer League scores from yesterday. The Summer League tournament, like the playoffs, begins today. Last night's games in the Vegas Summer League, there's only 5 of them. The Trailblazers defeated the Spurs 95-89. Gary Trent Jr., 20 points in the win for Portland. Jared Blossom game, 12 in defeat for San Antonio. The Heat defeated the Jazz 98-90. Bam Adebayo, 24 in the win. Grayson Allen, 17 in the loss. Hawks defeated the Bulls 101-93. Wendell Carter Jr. put 23 up in defeat. Trae Young, his best Summer League game so far, put up 21 in the win. The Kings defeated the Grizzlies 94-80. Justin Jackson, 20 in the win. Avon Rab, 17 in the loss. The Lakers defeated the Knicks 109-92. Josh Hart put up 27 in the win. Kevin Knox, 29 in defeat. Now I'm going to go over the worst NBA moves since 2013 by every team. The Atlanta Hawks, letting Al Horford walk for nothing. They could have traded him at the 2016 trade deadline, got nothing for him. They could have traded him in the offseason of 2015, even though they were coming off the 1 seed in the East that year. Didn't do it. They could have traded him in 2014 at that deadline, but he was hurt. So they let him go. He signs with the Celtics. They get nothing back for him. And they lose him for nothing in free agency. The Boston Celtics not bringing back Kelly Olynyk. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Olynyk, I thought, was overpaid by the Miami Heat. In year 1 of the Heat, he had a career year. He could have been the starting center for the Celtics. They could have put Al Horford at power forward. But then they would have had a little bit of a conundrum. Like, do you start Tatum and Brown on the wings and Kyrie at the point and have, it's to say Hayward's still out. Maybe Hayward's healthy. You have Tatum come off the bench. Maybe that would have hurt the development of Jason Tatum a little bit. But imagine if they kept Olynyk around, or they could have traded Olynyk potentially. Then they would have better off, I think, trading Kelly Olynyk in a signing trade and at least get something back, rather than letting him walk for nothing and have him have a career in Miami. The Brooklyn Nets, this is easy. Trading for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. That trade has continued to haunt this franchise over the last 5 years. A couple of those picks they traded away to Boston ended up being Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The Charlotte Hornets firing Steve Clifford. I think they're going to regret this. Steve Clifford, I think, done an admirable job with the Hornets. Got them to play hard. And I think that was a good hire for Orlando, as he'll be missed in Charlotte. The Chicago Bulls trading the 16th pick in the 2017 draft, a part of the Jimmy Butler trade. Yes, Justin Patton has not worked out for the Timberwolves, but I think you could have pulled off that Butler trade without giving up that 16th pick. Instead, had that as yet another asset in your rebuild. The Cleveland Cavaliers trading Kyrie Irving. This was a massive mistake by the Cavs. They really didn't get much for him. Jay Crowder didn't work out. They ended up dumping him to Utah. They ended up getting the Brooklyn Nets pick for this year, which turned out to be Colin Sexton. Maybe if Colin Sexton turns into a star, maybe this wouldn't be such a bad move after all. So this is all about Colin Sexton now, in my opinion. The Dallas Mavericks traded for Rajon Rondo. This was a disaster. They gave up a first-round pick for Rondo that I believe the Celtics eventually used the pick. Maybe it might have been Terry Rozier. I really don't remember by heart. It could have been Rozier. It could have been James Young, who didn't pan out. But they traded for Rajon Rondo, which proved to be a rental. Then he leaves them in free agency. It just didn't work out. In Dallas, him and Rick Carlisle did not mesh, so that was easily the worst move they made. The Denver Nuggets not trading for a proven point guard. Yes, Jamal Murray might be a good point guard someday, but to me, he may be better off as a 2 guard. But you could have gotten Kyrie and maybe packaged Jamal Murray to Cleveland. Maybe LeBron's still in Cleveland right now. Just saying. The Detroit Pistons trading a lot of assets for Blake Griffin. This is going to come back and haunt this franchise potentially. Blake Griffin has a big contract and is an injury-prone player in this league. They gave up a lottery pick for him, which we'll see how Shai Gilgeous-Alexander pans out, because the Clippers ended up trading that pick to move up the Charlotte spot for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and we'll see how Miles Bridges is, because that's who really that pick was. But they did give up a lot. They gave up Tobias Harris. They gave up a bunch of other assets. Avery Bradley, who is an expiring anyway, to get a guy that's been injury prone and is overpaid. Although he's a great player, though, when he's healthy. The Golden State Warriors not improving their bench post the Kevin Durant signing. Although their bench has shown some promise this past season and the season before. Guys like Jordan Bell, Sean Livingston, David West. But Livingston and West are getting old. Now that you signed DeMarcus Cousins, Andre Iguodala to the bench full time. But some other spots I think could have been improved on this roster. Maybe Jacob Evans will have an impact. We'll see. But their bench was really the weak part of that team. And now it's better. But there are some role guys that have left that had impacts before they ended up signing Durant. But it really didn't come back to hurt them. We'll see if their bench really is improved this year or not. I just couldn't think of a real good one for the Warriors because they've done pretty much everything right since Steve Kerr's got there. The Houston Rockets trading away too much for Chris Paul. Yes, trading for Chris Paul was a good move, but I think they gave up too much to get him. Among them, Sam Dekker and Montrezl Harrell. I think both of them could have been impactful to Houston. Montrezl Harrell's an energy big man. Sam Decker's a nice wing player that I think Decker's going to be the one that they might end up regret trading the most. It might end up being Harrell if they fail to keep Clint Capella. But they just lost Luka Mbadamute and Trevor Ariza for nothing. And they could have had Sam Dekker on their team as like a young wing that can come off the bench and shoot threes for them. And now they have a hole at small forward. And now they might sign Carmelo Anthony, who isn't the same player that he was when he was on the Nuggets and the Knicks. The Indiana Pacers not trading for a proven point guard. Post George Hill. Yes, Darren Collison did okay last year. But to me, he's not the long-term answer. They could have potentially gotten Kyrie Irving last year if they traded Paul George to the Cleveland Cavaliers. But then again, then they don't pull off the Oladipo thing, so maybe that wouldn't have worked out. They could have had some other point guards. Maybe even Rajon Rondo could have worked in Indiana in theory. But to me, not trading for a point guard can cost them down the road. The Los Angeles Clippers not trading DeAndre Jordan at the trade deadline. They should have done it. They had offers for him, but they chose to keep him. Instead, he walked in free agency and signed with Dallas, and the Clippers got nothing back. Los Angeles Lakers, this is easy. Signing Luol Deng and Timothy Mozgov in the summer of 2016. Boy, those were the worst contracts given out other than Joakim Noah's. They still have Deng on their books. They found a way to get rid of Timothy Mozgov by attaching D'Angelo Russell to his contract. But that turned out to be a great move because they end up with Kyle Kuzma at the end of the day. The Memphis Grizzlies signing Chandler Parsons. That was a bad move. Again, summer of 16, overpaid contract to an injury-prone player. The Grizzlies tried to trade number 4 pick and attach it to Chandler Parsons, but nobody would take it, and that's because of Parsons' contract. Nobody wants Chandler Parsons in his Bad contract. The Miami Heat overpaying Hassan Whiteside. Yes, I think Hassan Whiteside's a good player, but they overpaid him, and he hasn't really been the same this past season. He had a bad year last year. Milwaukee Bucks trading for Eric Bledsoe. Bledsoe is not a good fit in Milwaukee, and I don't think he's a fit for Mike Budenholzer. I do not think he will be on the Bucks perhaps next season. I won't be surprised if he's traded before the season. The Minnesota Timberwolves giving Andrew Wiggins a max extension. This was a bad move. He's one of the most overpaid players in the league now. He is not what the Minnesota Timberwolves thought he was when they traded Kevin Love for him. He is not playing up to number 1 overall pick potential. He may go down as one of the more recent busts. I don't think he's as bad as Anthony Bennett in terms of a bust, but he is pretty much a bust relative to expectations of a number 1 overall pick. New Orleans Pelicans trading for DeMarcus Cousins and losing him for nothing. This was a bad move by New Orleans. They traded away Buddy Hield and another lottery pick for him. And yeah, the team played better after he got hurt. But you don't trade for a player and then lose him for nothing. Yes, that injury didn't work out. And especially a player of DeMarcus Cousins' caliber. Like I said, the injury didn't help. But that trade proved to be a mistake by the Pelicans because they lost him for nothing. New York Knicks, there are a lot of obvious ones for this. You could say hiring Phil Jackson in 2014, which led to a bunch of bad moves from hiring Derek Fisher to signing Joakim Noah to a 4-year, $78 million contract. But none of them are it. The easy pick here is trading for Andrea Bargnani. This began the downfall of this current run that the Knicks are on. The front office previous to Phil Jackson, Glenn Grunwald, and I don't think Steve Mills was there yet, traded for Andrea Bargnani. They traded a first-round pick and a pick swap to get him. I don't know what the Knicks thought Andrea Bargnani was. They traded a good three-point shooter to Steve Novak to get him. That trade really helped the Raptors, and it really hurt the Knicks, although the guys Toronto's picked with those lottery picks aren't really stars either. The Oklahoma City Thunder traded for Carmelo Anthony. This was a bad move. Now they're buying him out. They traded Enes Kanter for him and Doug McDermott. McDermott got overpaid by Indiana. The Knicks ended up flipping McDermott again for Emmanuel Mudiay at the deadline last year. Enes Kanter had a career year on the Knicks. He opted into his contract, and I think the Knicks are going to trade Kanter eventually because I don't think they're going to be a good team at all this year. But the Thunder gave away 2 assets for an aging, declining player that was once a superstar. And that was a bad move. And now they're buying out Melo. The Orlando Magic signing Bismack Biyombo. This was an awful move. They have a surplus of big men, and they signed Biyombo. And I don't know why they did that. Then they ended up trading Biyombo to Charlotte for Jerry Grant. And I believe there's another player in that trade. I can't think of who on top of my head. Oh, Timothy Moskov. But signing Biyombo to me was a big mistake, and he was overpaid and still overpaid. But the Magic found a way to get rid of him, though. The 76ers drafting Joel Okafor over Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know if this move will really haunt the franchise because they end up pulling off 2 big risks in their favor in drafting Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. But could you imagine Porzingis with Simmons and Embiid? That would be something. The Phoenix Suns signing, then trading Isaiah Thomas. At the time, the Suns had a point guard duo of Goran Dragic and Eric Bledsoe. And in the summer of 2014, they signed Isaiah Thomas. Then the 3-point guard combo did not work out. Then they traded Thomas to Boston and essentially got nothing back. This was like a big trade at the deadline. There's a bunch of moving pieces involved. And the Suns really didn't get nothing back for Isaiah Thomas, as Thomas turned into a star in Boston. Then Boston took advantage of Isaiah Thomas's trade value and turned him into Kyrie Irving. So that's that. The Portland Trailblazers letting LaMarcus Aldridge walk for nothing. There's not many bad moves the Blazers have made, but letting Aldridge walk for nothing is one of them. They probably should have traded him at the deadline. But the fairness to them is that they were in contention at the time. They were contenders last 2 years in Portland. Well, at least a playoff contender, not necessarily a title contender. But before that, they were in like a rebuild. And Damian Lillard's rookie year, they weren't even a playoff team. And they could have traded him that summer. And the Blazers are probably where they are now. Maybe they're in a little bit better of a spot if they got something for Aldridge. I know the Bulls could have been interested in Aldridge, or the Clippers, or the Rockets. One of those teams at the time probably would have traded for Aldridge in 2013. But the Blazers ended up keeping him. They were playoff teams the last 2 years he was there, and then he leaves for nothing. Sacramento Kings trading their 2019 pick in the Nick Stauskas deal to Philly. This is going to haunt the Kings a little bit. Although they picked some good players in the draft the last couple years. But I think trading the 2019 pick was a mistake. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the league again. It's top one protected. The only way Sacramento gets it if it's the number one overall pick. And now that pick is Boston's, because Philly traded that pick to Boston to move up to number one in the draft last year to draft Markelle Fultz. The Spurs overpaying Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol's past his prime, and they overpaid him in free agency in 2000, I believe it was 16, and then they re-signed him, and now he's not the same player as he once was with the Lakers, and he is somebody that is in decline. The Toronto Raptors overpaying Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka. Yes, those are two important players of their team, but they're two players that are kind of in decline and have passed their peaks respectively. They overpaid Lowry, I believe that was last year, and Serge Ibaka was last year as well because they traded for him and wanted to bring him back. Utah Jazz trading up to draft Trey Burke. That did not work out. He turned out to flame out in Utah. They could have kept that pick and drafted somebody else. They passed on Giannis Antetokounmpo. And right now they could have had Giannis Antetokounmpo, Donovan Mitchell, and Rudy Gobert on the same team. That would have been something special. They would have been a contender right now. Although the Jazz are on their way to being a contender, but they certainly would have been in a better position had they drafted Giannis Antetokounmpo instead of trading up for Trey Burke. Last but not least, the Washington Wizards not upgrading their bench for playoff runs. They had opportunities to improve their bench. They traded a first-round pick for Bojan Bogdanovic. And although Bogdanovic is a nice player, he didn't really fit well with Washington. They tried to improve their bench this summer by bringing in guys like Jeff Green. And then they drafted Troy Brown out of Oregon. They might help, but I think Green's past his prime. I like the Brown selection by Washington. I thought that was a good pick. We'll see how that works out. But they had opportunities to trade for better players, but it just so happens that it didn't work out. Kelly Oubre comes off the bench for them, I believe. And he's a solid player, but they need more than just Kelly Oubre. Their bench has a lot of former teams cast-offs that haven't really panned out. But they had opportunities to trade for better players. That's all I'm saying. That's it for the worst of the NBA since 2013. That's it for today's podcast. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the semifinal between Croatia and England, go over all the baseball action, the Summer League action, look ahead to tomorrow's baseball action, go over the worst of the NHL since 2013, and any other news that breaks around the sports world. One last little note before I go. There's increased interest of Manny Machado linked to the Yankees. I think, depending on what the offer is, the Yankees should absolutely pull the trigger as long as it doesn't involve Gleyber Torres or anybody else very that important. Maybe Miguel Andujar could go in a different trade to get an above-average starting pitcher that the Yankees really need. if they're able to pull off a Manny Machado trade and even a Madison Bumgarner trade, if the Giants continue to falter, then the Yankees are most definitely winning the World Series the next 2 seasons. And they will officially be the Golden State Warriors of Major League Baseball if that were to happen. But just wanted to bring that up real quick. We'll get into more of the Manny Machado rumors on tomorrow's podcast and the podcasts leading up to the trade deadline. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.